What's up, guys? Today's video, me and Billy, we're in a Pro R on 35s. Stay tuned, check it out. Maybe we'll give you some good information. Maybe it'll rain. This is low range, East Coast wheelers. We want to know this info. Billy has not put it in low yet. He hasn't driven it. This is very first input.
That was pretty good.
That was almost 40 miles an hour in low.
And that's stock too.
Alright, so camera died, of course. Reminder, this is on 35s, so what the speedometer said of 40 might not exactly be correct, so.
And it was kind of hitting a limiter too at 40, so I think with a tune, pretty sure these things are like detuned quite a bit in low. I know the Turbo S was, so I'd assume this probably is too. So, I mean, I'd probably get 45-ish, you know.
Yeah, pretty impressed, top speed overall, low range. Ride's really great. All right, we're gonna rip some fast stuff now. Perfectly comfortable hanging onto a GoPro.
Yeah, no sway bars and in comfort mode too, which is pretty sick.
Come on. All right, so now we're back in low. I believe we're gonna try and find a rock crawl section so we can test how slow you can actually crawl.
Brakes are really good, like really good. Barely got to give them any input and it locks the tires up.
Also, we've been at Hawk Pride a few days, been wheeling with him for a couple days. Check out the previous videos to see this thing in action with our core group riding. Huge shout out to Corey from Loose Moose for letting us rip this right now. So sick. This is the nastiest Pro R I think I've ever seen. Bed deleted, caged, it's sick. Can't hide that money.
Yeah, so another thing to note, this thing's got a full Evo exhaust, but no tune. It is pretty loud in here when you're, I mean, we're only going 5 miles an hour. And it's kind of yelling, I think.
Yeah, I definitely have to talk louder. It's also just a different pitch and tone. Different driving experience, that's for sure. engine braking?
Engine braking's actually phenomenal.
How's the clutching feel on descent?
It feels really good. It still does that little thing where it'll kind of unlock itself and you start like mobbing down the hill. But as soon as you give it a little throttle input, same way my Turbo S is, it'll kind of start slowing itself down again.
How about little rocks on the trail, stumps? How's all that feel?
What stumps or rocks on the trail? You can't even feel them. So it's kind of weird. It's
a good thing and it might be a bad thing depending who you are.
Yeah, depending on how much.
All right, well here's a nice decent rock. Let's see what Billy thinks the height is. What do you think that one was?
I don't know, 6 inches?
It was probably like 1.5 feet.
Yeah, that's... So like the inputs...
The feedback.
Yeah, there's like no feedback in anything. The steering, I'm just in 4-wheel drive open diff, just cruising. And
it's very, very comfortable.
Yes, the seat, everything about this thing's like screams comfort.
You feel real big, up high and big out in the woods, but like the car doesn't have handling manners like that.
Yeah, like it feels nimble, it just also feels big, if that makes any sense.
Alright, so it just monsooned, you know, go figure, like an hour ago.
It looks so
Where are we
sick.
at, Billy?
Fatty's Crack. Look at it. Doesn't even look the same.
It's a freaking river.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I'm excited for it, so.
Check back to the other video of like a day or two ago and it was bone dry.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's, dude, how much, they have had gotten like 3 inches of rain in the last 2 days. It's nuts how hard it's been raining. But don't expect much else from riding with Blown Budget Off-Road.
We must do the rain dance and don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, just being here. Come on.
Alright, so what mode you selected?
We're gonna go a diff lock, and then rock mode on the suspension, and he said sport mode on the throttle is what he likes. He said he's never tried rock mode though, so maybe I'll try that and just see what
It was very soft.
It is?
So yeah, try it.
So, rock, diff lock.
Come on.
Rock.
Rock, diff lock. Yeah. Get it, boy.
Definitely, I can notice a difference already with the throttle. Like I just had to give it almost half throttle just to move.
Doesn't like rock mode. Now we're to sport mode.
Yep. A lot better. Way better.
Throttle input now. complained about it on 35s. Mode's a lot touchier. Might be better for belt engagement though. Yeah, I mean it can crawl, no doubt. Just certain spots, getting used to driving it. This is the first rock trail he's ever driven it on, so I mean, it seems to do pretty well. It rides really good through it. Suspension does a great job. How's the steering feel?
Steering feels really good. It's
very strong.
Yeah, it's not really any feedback in the wheel.
Yeah, because you just drove over like a 2-foot rock on the right. Alright, so Billy, how did low range feel cruising compared to rock crawling?
Cruising felt like it was really, really low. Like almost too low. But then once you got into the technical rocks, it felt too high, if that makes any sense at all. Like I could smell the belt the entire time we were going through there.
Probably maybe relates to weight of the machine. Maybe input, yeah. I don't know, it just feels completely different in this category of riding.
Yeah, it does. I would agree with that 100%.
Steering inputs, throttle inputs all still feel fantastic.
Yeah, it feels, there's like no effort to any of that.
Yeah, the car manners, I would say, struggle in the rocks compared to where we just were.
Yeah, I would agree. Yep.
All right, well, it's starting to rain again.
Yeah.
Lucky us. All right, so we just went up a pretty good hill climb by Fatty's Way, exiting out that way. Looked deceiving, like it wasn't gonna like it, but it honestly impressed us both because with 5 miles an hour, it felt like a good sweet spot for like power, gearing, clutch setup, all of that. What do you think, Billy?
I'm just watching Myra get beat on. No, that was like the weirdest sensation because we were just saying, you know, low feels too low in the rocks. We just climbed a hill at 5 miles an hour. And it was like a pretty, my Turbo S just was barking behind us. I don't know if you can hear it on camera. And we just chugged right up it. Like it was nothing.
Yeah, it's definitely a car you have to learn. And we're just trying to give an honest input of every thought we can possibly give because it's a new thing out here and nobody knows what to really expect. Neither do we. Oh, by the way. Fatty's Crack. Just Corey from Loose Moose with Ethan riding. Little outside footage so you can see for yourself what it looks like instead of me and Billy in cab. You know, Fatty's Crack, she's moist. All right, Billy, now that you drove the Pro R and the Can-Am on the same exact trail in the same conditions, which one feels better overall? Which one would you pick? Too hard of a question. Okay.
Yeah.
Steering. How do they each feel in comparison? Neither one's probably better than the other one. They just have a totally different feel.
Yeah, the Pro R, there's like no feedback. I mean, it's really good. And the Can-Am has a little bit, obviously, but we're also comparing a machine that has pretty
2,200 miles.
Yeah, and it has a new rack and the rack something.
Some brace. But they both felt really good. Like, I never found myself fighting either of them, but the Pro R was definitely better. All right, how about the suspension feel? High speed, start there.
Pro R, 100%, not even.
How about low speed?
They're similar. I think the Pro R does ride a little better, but the Can-Am's, I mean, very close.
All right. How about bottoming, harshness? Do you feel any of that in either?
Nope, not really. They're both
pretty plush.
Pretty plush, yeah. Comfort
overall?
Pro R. I think the Pro R seats and the way the cockpit's laid out, you can see better, and I don't know, it just seems a little more comfortable. You stay cleaner. That's a big one.
How about gearing?
Gearing, the Can-Am feels better.
Gearing and clutching, I guess we'll combine it.
Yeah, the Pro R clutching doesn't seem right. Like, I mean, it is running 35s. And I thought maybe when I first hit it, I think we said it earlier, that it seemed like I could smell the belt the whole time, but I could smell the belt the whole time in the Can-Am too. So it was just that hooked up 35s, you know, rough rock trail. So
both rigs, no sway bars. How's that feel off camber?
Can-Am's definitely way more leany, but you don't ever feel like you're gonna go over. The Pro R stays pretty flat. You feel pretty safe.
Yeah, there's no goofy sensations felt with driving that.
No.
How about running over like stumps, logs?
You can't even feel it in the Pro R. You can feel it maybe a little bit in the Can-Am.
Not violently rips the steering wheel out of your hand or nothing?
No, it's not. It's just, you can just kind of doink.
How about engine noise?
The Can-Am with the P-drive clutch is quite, man, I don't know.
It's a lot better than what it used to be.
Yeah, it's damn good. And the Pro R, like right when you're in the sweet spot of like 5K, it's pretty loud. And
it's got like a certain pitch that vibrates all the metal roof pans, and yeah, it's got that like high frequency pitch that's
so
it's kind of loud in cab at that certain RPM.
Yeah, we were kind of having to yell at each other when we were driving it.
Okay. Anything else that you can think of to add to this? Ground clearance, trailing arms, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really feel a ton up at all, really, with the Pro R. Pro R definitely had more ground clearance with 35s, but I mean, you can set it up however you want, I guess. But we just had it in whatever rock mode. But like the last climb we did, you know, we dragged bottom the whole time in the Can-Am, and the Pro R we didn't hit at all. Visibility, that was huge. Like, you get up on a hill in a Can-Am, you can't see. You just gotta look far ahead.
How about in these muddy, wet conditions, like in cab cleanliness?
Pro R wins hands down. You stay pretty clean in that thing.
Yeah, so both machines are the same width, running the same tire. Yeah, so
I mean, you stay pretty clean in the Can-Am too, comparative to like my Turbo S, but it's not nearly as good as the Pro R.
All right. I mean, I feel like this video's basically covered it.
Yeah, we got a lot of good information.
It's great information. Obviously, it's all lower technical speed stuff that I don't think's really out there yet. You guys can watch all the videos that I watch, and it shows the Pro R as an animal at speed and gives so much comfort to people that looks like you can just boost some huge jumps and rail corners, and it's a big feeling car that feels like a Corvette.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for watching me and Billy reviewing this Pro R. We're gonna give it to Justin to end this video and give his input on what he sees from only videoing, because he's at home sick with the vid.
Alright guys, so I don't have much to add to this video. I've literally never sat in a Pro R. A couple things I did want to mention here is that Pro R is literally stock gearing, stock clutching. So I mean, it seems to be pretty impressive. It does seem like it revs up a bit, like kind of what those guys were talking about. But in comparison to any other RZR out there, you couldn't slap 35s on any factory RZR with stock clutching and stock gearing and go hit the gnarly rock trails at Hawk Pride. I mean, those trails are no joke for a lot of people, and they're pretty savage. You know, there's pretty big rocks, pretty big ledges, and big tires and big rocks don't really mix unless you got the right gearing. So it seems like they did pretty good for factory gearing, just as an outsider looking in, but you guys can see the same stuff as me. So Billy and Josh's Turbo S's, every Turbo S you see basically on this channel pretty much has gear reduction, unless it's just like a clip of an outsider or somebody else that we met up with. But all these four-seaters, Billy's, Josh's, they've all got gear reduction. And I mean, you got to pull a trans, split the trans, do gear reduction to do that stuff. So that's a pretty big downside in my opinion. Thing I will say about the Can-Am is stock gearing is phenomenal in my opinion. The stock clutching that I've got, which is the stock factory clutching that comes in 2019, I think it's great. The only downside is the noise. But as far as engagement goes, I think it's great. Ethan switched his rig to a P drive, if you didn't catch that, and it seems to be doing great as well. It seems to have quieted down quite a bit, like Billy just said. And then the only other thing I wanted to touch on was steering feedback. They mentioned that like it doesn't, no sudden drawing or anything in the Can-Am. Both of our Can-Ams have misalignment spacers on the tie rods, so it's not a factory steering. A factory Can-Am steering, at least in the 2019s, I don't know if they've upgraded this, but the geometry is not right, and they get gnarly bump steer. And even after fixing that, if you hit ledges fast like we do, so we got to hit ledges fast, and if you're turned a little bit, if you're not able to keep the wheel perfectly straight when you hit the ledge, it does sometimes want to rip out of your hands. I mean, the steering feedback is aggressive. I do not think Can-Am has the steering geometry dialed on the X3. I mean, I'm no expert, but I've wheeled a lot of my X3, and I don't think the geometry is that great. But granted, I don't have a steering rack brace. I don't have a brand new rack, but neither does the Pro R. It's stock. You know what I mean? So to compare it like that, that's just my point of view. But for most people, I think the Can-Am steering's fine. And I've never changed it, so obviously it's not that bad, you know. But it is one of my only complaints about the Can-Am. But anyways, guys, different video than usual. I had COVID, so I didn't get to make it on this trip. But we've got some more videos coming your way. So if you guys like this stuff, hit that subscribe button, support the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.